right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, the benefits of career and technical schools, sponsored by Universal Technical Institute. Universal Technical Institute is one of the country's leading providers of high quality, career-focused education at 12 locations all across the country. Universal Technical Institute is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 15,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation is Universal Technical Institute, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background, so you're in good hands today. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the chat feature in the Zoom meeting or the Q&A feature as well. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 2:25 p.m., I will then present any questions offered by the participants. We'll address as many questions as we can, provide written responses and follow-up emails if necessary. We'll have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'll get right into the presentation. It's threefold. We'll start off with challenges facing the workforce. We'll follow that up with opportunities in the transportation industry, and then we'll end with Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. I always like starting off talking about the changing workforce from the 20th to the 21st century. As you can see, it's changed dramatically. We went from an agricultural manufacturing society to one of service. And you can all attest to that yourselves. If you own a house, a car, a washing machine, doesn't matter. You know how difficult it is to get someone to service your equipment, your appliances, let alone someone who's qualified. Very difficult. So we've become very, very much service oriented, and we need to adjust accordingly. You also might look at this and say, wow, agriculture from 41% to 2%, are we running out of food? Well, quite the opposite. It's funny that we feed more people with that 2% than we did with the 41%, but it ties into the reason is technology. And with technology, we need service. So it all goes hand in hand there. A recent survey was done of 150,000 students, and they were asked from grades 6 through 12, how many of you would like a skilled trades career? Well, you see a whopping 3% said, yeah, sign me up. This is what I want to do. That same group of students was asked, how many of you would like a STEM career? And over 45% said, yeah, that's what I want to do. And there lies the disconnect. The students do not see the connection between STEM and skilled trades. Unfortunately, we have many educators that also don't see that. They tend to think of STEM as more white collar instead of blue collar. I like to say it's all collar because STEM really permeates most of our career pathways today. STEM growth is phenomenal. Between 2017 and 2027, it's believed that STEM jobs will grow by over 13%, whereas other jobs will grow about 9%. But two other startling statistics. One is an hourly wage. Non-STEM career, a little over $19 an hour, which isn't bad, but look at a STEM career, almost $39 an hour. Now, don't misunderstand me. I don't mean that just because you choose a non-STEM career that you can't make any money at it. You can. There are careers out there where you can, but the statistics are on the side of STEM. We can take this one step further to yearly median earnings. Non-STEM, just over $38,000 a year. STEM, almost $87,000 a year. So think of the earning potential over the course of your lifetime in a STEM occupation versus a non-STEM occupation. Just a little over 20% of the jobs in this country right now require a bachelor's degree for entry. Another startling statistic is that we have almost half of our college graduates walking around today are in occupations where they didn't even need their bachelor's degree, or they're not using it. That's kind of sad when you think in terms of they spent all this time, money, energy into getting this bachelor degree only to find out they didn't even need it in the first place. It wasn't required, where the case may be. Now, it doesn't hurt that they have a bachelor's degree. I'm not saying it was a total waste. It's not. But with a little better advice, maybe when they were in high school or, early in their post-secondary endeavor, they might have gotten some information that maybe could have helped them save them a lot of time and money. I talk a lot about the old SMART versus the new SMART. So you say, well, what is the old SMART? Well, it was simply get into the best school you possibly can. That's the way my parents were. And some of your parents may have been the same way. What the best school you can get into. And then once you get there, figure out what it is that you want to do. And then if you figure that out, you come out the front doors, degree in hand, go, here I am, world, hire me. Well, we know that just doesn't work anymore today. And you might even look at that and say, that's so stupid, so ridiculous. Who would even think along those lines? Well, I would refer you to the recent admissions scandal that just happened, and I think is still ongoing, where parents were actually bribing schools to get their sons and daughters into these so-called prestigious schools like USC and Stanford, being deceitful on records and all these things just to get them in there. So, and what's kind of sad about that is that many of the students, they didn't even want to go in the first place. So all they got out of it was fines and jail time. The new SMART, on the other hand, the first thing we want to do is figure out, what are kids good at? What do they want to be? I recently did well, it's not recent, it's been a little over a year ago for the pandemic. I did a STEM workshop in Florida. And I had it was grades 2 through 6. And I had a teacher come to me. I was working with fourth graders. This lady had tears in her eyes. And I'm going, oh man, what's happened? We're putting together these electronic circuit boards and teaching them, STEM, talking about that. And she said, see that little boy back there? I said, yeah. I said, look at him. She said, I almost didn't bring him today. I go, oh my gosh, why not? She said, he's a troublemaker. He ruins it for everybody. He won't pay attention. And I've been watching him, and he's just been doing great. He's helping other students. He was the first one done. He wants to stay for the 5th grade session now. And that's what I'm talking about. She got onto something there. She found something that he likes to do, something he's good at. So that's what we need to do as educators, find that out. Then let's find out what program do they need to get to where they want to be. Do they need a bachelor's degree? Maybe. Master's degree? Maybe they just need competency-based credentials like a diploma or some kind of a certificate program. Maybe that's all they need. And then let's figure out what school they need to be at. Why send them to, USC or someplace like that when they might not need a school like that? They may just need a cosmetology school or a welding school or an auto diesel school, something on those lines. The rule of 127, very simple, but it applies. For every 10 careers that are available today, if you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you get 10. For every 10 careers today, only 1 requires an advanced degree, meaning a master's degree or higher. 2 require a bachelor's degree. 7 of the 10 careers that are available today, right now, only require competency-based credentials, meaning a diploma or certificate or an associate's degree. Yet, we're doing just exactly opposite of what the economy is dictating to us we should be doing, because we're pushing students into colleges and universities at almost a 70% clip. So that's something else we need to think about as educators when we're helping students with career readiness and career pathways. I work with educators. I always say I educate educators. That's what I do. But as educators, then we have to educate parents and we have to educate students to help them understand that skilled trades is a STEM career, that the two do go hand in hand. That disconnect should not be there any longer. We also have to make students realize that college isn't for everyone. The university for all attitude, that has to go away. We always had this stigma. You have to have a college degree in order to be successful. And that's just not true any longer. And then finally, what are employers looking for? They're looking for competency-based credentials. What do you bring to the table? The second part of our agenda today is about opportunities in the transportation industry. I don't care if it's a car, a truck, motorcycle, boat, ATV, they're all one thing, rolling computers. The technology in these is amazing. But what I love most about it, though, is that the technology is life-saving. It's safe. It makes our vehicles safer. Take, for instance, the backup cameras. If you have a vehicle that doesn't have one and one that does, it's like, how did you navigate without it? We've all heard the horror stories about somebody backing over a child, sometimes their own child. Can you imagine that? But with the backup camera, we've eliminated a lot of that. Another one, the blind spot indicator. We've all made this mistake. We start to pull over in the lane, we get honked at and yelled at and dirty looks at us because we didn't see them there. Where'd they come from? But with the blind spot indicator, then we know that people around us because of the sensors on the vehicle. And I can go on and on. The rain sensing wipers, the automatic headlights now, the bright and dims on its own. All these things, they're amazing technologies. But the problem is we need technicians that can work on this stuff, because when things go wrong, computer related, we have to have technicians that are highly trained to take care of these issues. There are over 1.3 billion vehicles on the road worldwide, over 273 million of those right here in the United States. By 2028, it's predicted we will need 1.1 million technicians. There's going to be that many job openings. I have news for you. The skills gap is not narrowing. It continues to widen. We have to stop that immediately. We have to get this back on the right track. And then finally, the third part of our agenda today is Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Who is UTI? Well, Lee kind of told you a little bit about us at the beginning. We are the leading provider of technicians in the country. We have 12 campuses nationwide. We place over 4 out of 5 of our graduates into their chosen field. And notice I said in their chosen field, not in a field, but their chosen field. And that we have over 220,000 graduates to our credit out there, and that number continues to grow. Our training programs, we have 8. Auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. You can't just come to UTI. You have to be interviewed first. You have to be invited to come to UTI. And the reason for the interview, we want to find out, what are students good at? Like I was mentioning before, what do they love to do? We question them to find out, to try to get to that, what they want to do. And then we talk to them about career pathways they have, but also there are hundreds of career pathways within these career pathways too. For instance, someone may love cars, but they don't see themselves working on cars on a daily basis. That's fine. They could be a service writer, when the person you go see when you first take your car in, or maybe an insurance adjuster. They hire our graduates too, because they know the car inside and out. And so they help in claims adjustments and that kind of thing. So that's what we do in the interview. We try to find out what makes that student tick. What do they really want to do? And we talk to them with their parents so that their parents can interject too. So we can really get to the grassroots of what they really want to do. We offer industry-aligned technology. What does that mean? Well, the way we teach, partly online and then partly hands-on. We were doing this before the pandemic. We've had to be a little bit more careful about it, and I'll talk about that in just a minute with CDC compliance, but still, this is what we do. Why? Because that is industry aligned, because the industry does the same thing. Dealerships no longer send their technicians off to school somewhere for 2 or 3 weeks. They can't afford to. They're short on technicians to begin with. Why would they give them up? And the expense in getting that done so they can do the training online. So that's what we do. So we get our students acclimated to that kind of education. Our education model is pretty simple. We teach competency-based credentials, as I talked about before. You have to master this before you can go to that. And there are 3-week courses. We take one course at a time. When they master that skill, then they move on to the next one. That's how we build our technician from the ground up. As I mentioned before, CDC compliant labs. We had to make that change. That was one of the changes that the pandemic brought on. And we're an essential industry. So we couldn't just shut down. I mean, UTI is alive and well. We've got our campuses going. We've got training going right now. But what we had to do is make some changes. Assign doors where students can enter and leave. Temperature checks on everybody that enters the building. Face coverings. Reduce lab sizes. Why? So we could meet the 6-foot separation, the social distancing requirement that CDC requires. Washing hands, cleaning and disinfecting constantly. And then offering phone support. If someone doesn't feel safe coming to our campus, that's fine. They can call us and we can give them the information that they need. We offer a buffet of presentations. We still do the live and in-person presentations. But also some of the schools, they will not allow us in, so we have to do virtual. So we can do a virtual presentation either over Microsoft Teams or through Zoom, or if you have a platform that you prefer, we can use that as well. But we can still get students the information that they need, and we can offer virtual tours. We can offer, with our tours with our industry partners, career readiness workshops, STEM demonstrations. We can offer all of these. As you can see on the right, there's some examples of some of the slides of things we cover. We don't do UTI infomercials. We talk to students about their future and the opportunities that they have out there. We're one of them. And we like to think they're the best one, but not necessarily so. It's what's best for the student. That's what we're after. And we know that you're after that same thing too. We have a national presence. Why is that so important? As I mentioned, we have got 12 campus locations, but the national presence, you'd be hard pressed to walk into a dealership and say UTI and they go, who's that? They know who we are. But the other important part about the national presence is that in job placement, or I should say career placement, you may go to school at the Rancho Cucamonga or the Long Beach campus. That's fine. But maybe you want to move to Northern California. Well, we have a campus up there in Sacramento. So, so we have job placement up there, or in Texas, anywhere in the country that, the student want to go to. Sometimes students want to go away to school, and they'll tell them, oh yeah, I want to get away from this place. I never want to come back here. They graduate, guess what? They come right back to home. So we can help them get placed right there too. We have over 35 industry partners. These are the big dogs, of the industry. We're not preparing students for Jiffy Lube. We're preparing students for BMW, for Nissan, for Kawasaki, all these various companies out there. They offer great careers and they pay well. We have over 4,500 employer locations that offer special programs called TRIP employers. They offer special programs to our graduates. And I wanted to, for this spring webinars, I want to give you an example of a couple of those packages. The first one is with Hendrick, the Hendrick Advantage. The Hendrick Company has over 100 dealers representing 29 brands, currently operating in 13 states, over 10,000 employees. What do they offer? Tuition reimbursement, $300 a month. That's on top of their salary, $300 a month, paid on a monthly basis. They can use that to pay off their student loans. That'd make a student loan payment easily. A tool voucher, $200 a month for 10 months. So there's $2,000 right there. Relocation, available on a case-by-case basis. As I heard one service manager say, we're not going to lose a good employee over a couple $1,000s. We're not going to let that happen. ASC reimbursement, when they get their ASC certifications as they move along in their career, those are paid for. And then comprehensive benefits package. Another one is Penske Auto Group, over 150 US locations, over 40 world-class brands, Fortune 500 company. What's the package? Tuition reimbursement, $420 per month for 48 months. It's a lot of money. That'll pay off a lot of student loans. Tool program, $2,000 reimbursement. 10-year bonus, $3,000 bonus paid after 48 months of employment. These are great opportunities for students, but they're not givings. They've got to earn them. They've got to do well in school. You know, they got to go to class every day, show good professionalism, and they can land opportunities like this. We love to accentuate our graduates. We love to show them off. And here's an example of 3 graduates. They'll have a smile on their face because they love what they're doing. But more importantly, they exemplify what we stand for, and they'll tell future students about that as well. So students that are planning to come to UTI get the good, the bad, the ugly about everything. So they go in knowing what to expect of the school and what they expect of themselves. We are Title IV funded, so that means we can offer financial aid to those who qualify. Students fill out a FAFSA. We offer over $15 million in sponsored scholarships. We also offer housing grants, institutional grants, the trip employers I just told you about, and third-party programs too to help students with things called life. I'm a retired educator. I know exactly what you guys do on a daily basis, although this year, I can't really say that. I can't even imagine what you all have gone through. It's been tough, but we know that you need information to help. And that's what we do. We want to help you with that. We want to partner with you. Like I said, we offer a buffet of workshops and lesson plans and things to help you. And that's what we want to do. We want to partner with you. And so, you know, you'll get my contact information later. If you're interested in doing something like this, please reach out to me because I can make that happen for you. And there's no charge for any of these. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, uti.edu. So you can access us any number of ways. Before I get into this last slide, I wanted to mention that we have some events going on in Southern California. On February 11th, we're having an event at San Diego Porsche that you're welcome to attend or have your students attend. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time at San Diego Porsche. And then on February 27th, we're hosting a future student workshop at our Rancho Cucamonga campus. That's for students that have enrolled, but also for students who haven't enrolled yet and want to check us out. And also for the parents. We want parents there as well and the family members so they can see what we do. So I'll close with, you know, being your student's advocate. I always get asked about help with parents. What can I say? Steve, I get what you're saying, but I can't get that across to parents. What can I do? I'm going to give you some ideas here. One is promote your STEM program. You know, change the name of your classes, update them a little bit, make them more exciting. You know, offer open house and things where you have STEM demos, things that parents can participate in, not just look at, but actually do. When we have counselors come to our campus and we have them do our welding simulator, oh my gosh, they have a ball with it. You know, so do that with parents. Involve industry. Industry wants to help because they're going to need future technicians and future employees. So get them involved. They will help you, I promise. And if you're worried about that, contact me. I can help you with that. Career Pathways Exploration Days. Get rid of the college fairs, the name college fairs, because that pigeonholes kids. They always only for kids going to college. Well, what about kids that are going to other types of post-secondary education? So call them career days, career pathways, exploration days, whatever. You know, get more students involved and get the parents there too. And then finally, celebrate the success of all of your students, not just your, you know, ones in certain areas and, you know, the full ride scholarship for football or the, you know, basketball or the Rhodes Scholar or something like that. All of your kids have successes. Find what those successes are. That way you get buy-in from the parents. Every parent wants to see their kid get a scholarship. I don't care if it's $10 or $100. They just want to brag to other parents. Hey, my son or my daughter got a scholarship. So celebrate all of the successes, not just a few. And then finally, this is my contact information, my email address and my phone number. Please reach out to me. Email, through text message. You can call me. You know, give me your your comments, your suggestions, your questions. And as I said earlier, if you're interested in a workshop of some type, we have, like I love to say, a buffet. We actually do. We have a lot of things to offer. They're all free of charge, and I can help make that happen for you. Thank you so much for spending as part of your afternoon with me, and good luck for the rest of your school year. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Coyle. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. So if you would like any information on the upcoming virtual events for your seniors, I put up a poll here. So if you wouldn't mind just answering that, we'll send you an email with some more information on those virtual events for your seniors Dr. Coyle mentioned. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to use the Q&A portion or the feature in the meeting so that we can answer your questions. And it does look like we had a question come in, Dr. Coyle. This person wants to know whether your campuses in Southern California offer housing.
Yes, and I always forget to mention that, but yes, they do. We don't do dorms, we do apartments, but these apartments are leased by us, and so they're governed by us as well too. And our we have a partnership with Collegiate Housing Services, so we can help make that happen for you.
Okay, great. Okay, now this person wants to know about GPA requirements. Is that, I think you had mentioned something about students needing to be interviewed. Is that something that they consider? Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, we don't have a GPA requirement. We don't require ACTs or SATs. Now, we love to see students do those things. We love to see students have good grades, but typically students that are hands-on learners, that kind of thing, they tend to struggle in, you know, some of your classes, like maybe English or literature classes, some of these type of courses. The boy in their shop classes, they're straight A students. So we're more interested in their attendance. We're more interested in, you know, what they want to do, you know, what their ambitions are. So we put a lot of credence into that interview because we get to know the student pretty well through that.
Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, I think that pretty much does it. Just a couple of house cleaning items here. I will be sending this recording to you via email, likely tomorrow morning. It'll also be on our website and our YouTube channel. Our website again is www.imagine-america.org. So if you would like to go there to learn more about our scholarship programs or rewatch this presentation, you will be able to do that there. There is also going to be a quick survey when you exit this meeting. It's 5 questions. It really just helps us hone in on maybe something that we missed or that you would like to hear us talk about for future presentations. So your feedback would be greatly appreciated. Before closing, I just want to thank our participants for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us today. And I also want to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage each and every one of you to contact him directly with any future questions or more information about virtual events. On behalf of Imagine America, Dr. Coyle and myself, thank you and goodbye.